Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I'm so happy you're watching and listening today. I am a medium, and as a medium, I connect in with our loved ones on the other side, and I'm also a certified life coach. And as life coach, I help people take action to create the life they want to have. I don't fix their lives. I help them take action to create the life they want to have. Today's coaching tip is all about being stuck in an emotion. You know how when something happens, you get stuck in emotion and you can't get out of it? And I was really thinking about this yesterday. I was walking on the beach and it was quite windy, and there was the waves were bringing up all of this foam from the water, and these piles of foam were just kind of skirting across the water on the sand. So the wave would go out and the wind would come and blow these piles of foam. And I was watching them because it was so cool just how they moved. It was kind of mysterious. And I was watching it so much that I almost stepped on a jellyfish. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. And as I was thinking about that, it reminded me of a time many years ago now when my daughter was about 2 years old, and we had gone on a family vacation, and we were all standing in the pool, my husband at the time, my son, my daughter, and me. And it wasn't a very deep pool. It was probably about 2.5 feet. It was, I think, more of a kiddie pool than anything. So we were standing in this pool, and my husband and I happened to glance up and see this woman on a balcony, and she had a toddler with her, and this toddler was running around like crazy on this balcony. Well, it was a little concerning to us because the balcony railings were not very secure, and we were afraid that this child was going to fall. As we were talking about this, thinking, oh, she should really be looking and seeing what her kid is doing, our son interrupted us and said, Mom, Laura is underwater. So our 2-year-old daughter was now underwater. We looked down, she is totally underwater. We were standing right next to her, and we hadn't been paying attention to our own child. We were focused on someone else, thinking they needed to pay attention to their child. And here we were not doing such a great job ourselves. It was a little bit of instant karma at that point. And I started thinking about, isn't it interesting how we can focus on something that's right in front of us to the point that we don't really see what's right in front of us. We get worried about whatever's happening and we don't pay attention to what's going on. I was so worried once about getting lost while driving that I had a head-on collision because I wasn't paying attention and I turned in front of someone. I was stuck in worry and I wasn't paying attention to what was going on around me. When we get stuck in an emotion, whether it's a good one or a more challenging one, we sometimes don't pay attention to what's right in front of us. If it's a good emotion, it's no problem, unless, of course, you step on a jellyfish, then you might have a problem. But if it's a challenging emotion, it can overwhelm us. It's like we get stuck in a curse of negativity and challenges and stuff, and we can't get out of it. It's almost as though we're powerless to make a change. And the negative emotions are all we can see. So how do you get stuck out of it? What you want to do is you want to find out why you're stuck. What's going on in your head? What are you thinking? What thoughts are happening in there? When you learn about these thoughts, they can lead you to something about yourself. And what happens when we get stuck in a difficult emotion is that there's an underlying belief that's being brought to our awareness. Our thoughts are reflecting some kind of belief to us. It's usually about ourselves, something we need to take care of rather than another person. But if you can figure out what that belief is, it can help you move out of the emotion. When I was concerned about that mother not paying enough attention to her child, I was actually judging her. And I'm saying to myself, what is wrong with her? Why isn't she paying attention? She should be paying attention. What will happen? Blah, blah, blah. Fortunately, I had my instant karma moment, and it showed me that I wasn't such a great mother myself, that I needed to become aware of my belief that I was judging this person, and I must have thought I was superior to her. And this instant karma showed me I definitely wasn't superior to her. When I was worried about my car accident, I had an unaware underlying belief that I didn't trust myself. I had directions to where I was going, but I wasn't sure where I was going. I didn't trust them, and I didn't trust my ability to follow the directions, apparently. Now, I had a friend named Mary who was stuck in anger when her husband left her for another woman. Now, of course, that's natural, that's normal to be angry if your husband leaves you, especially for another woman. But after several months, she realized she was stuck in it. She was stuck in the anger and she couldn't get out of it. So what she did is she started to follow her emotions that were taking her to the thoughts that she needed to become aware of, to learn about herself. And as she explored those thoughts, she realized her thoughts were going along the lines of blaming him for rejecting her and hurting her, of course. But as she kept going, she wanted to look deeper, and she just kept going. And these thoughts turned into, he left me because I wasn't good enough for him, which then became, I'm not good enough. And she realized that was a belief that was holding her back. When she realized that's what it was, the source of her anger was really she didn't feel good enough. She was able to release some of that anger and start to work on herself to help her see that she was good enough, and it was probably his issue and not hers. When you're stuck in a challenging emotion, it may be trying to get your attention to what's in front of you, but you're missing it because you're focused on the emotion. You're not seeing the whole picture at all. And this emotion could be hiding this unaware belief you have. Every life situation you have is here to help you learn and grow. This is a concept not everyone can understand because we like to blame other people for our problems or blame situations for how we feel. And when you can start to see that every life situation is here to help you learn and grow, you can start to take responsibility and start to take control over yourself and step outside of those negative, challenging emotions. If you have a willingness to look at yourself and go deep and try to find out what belief is under there, you can learn about yourself and you can resume being a happier person. Sometimes you have to face the dark side to get through and see what you have to learn. If you find a belief that reflects you're not good enough or something like this, it may not be true. And even if it is true, you can change it. You don't have to stay stuck in it, because when you're stuck in that belief, you're also stuck in the emotion. Now, I'm not talking about being stuck in grief when you've lost someone. And this is my normal disclaimer whenever I'm talking about things. If you're stuck in grief, you're going to be. It's a natural thing if you've lost someone. It will take you some time to process. I'm talking about being stuck in emotions that come from our everyday kind of life, where we have situations where we may feel wronged, or where people have hurt us or criticized us, where life has gotten us down, or maybe where we've been judgmental, like I was, or where we think our opinions are the only ones that matter, are the only ones that are correct. These situations are your learning opportunities. So if, for another little teeny example, if your son loses his job, of course you're going to be concerned about it. Will he get a new one? Is he going to be okay? It's a normal reaction. But then again, if you get stuck there and you're trying to fix things for him, you're trying to control stuff, you're stuck in it then. And that's what you're thinking about all of the time. You want to follow the emotion instead to get to the thoughts. What thoughts What thoughts are they that you want to know? What is it you're trying to do? Are you trying to fix his problem? Do you believe he's not capable of handling the problem? Your belief might revolve around the fact that you need to let him go, to let him figure it out on his own, and you need to step back. Maybe you don't trust that he can figure it out. And it may turn into you recognizing that you don't trust yourself to handle your own problems. So you try to micromanage everybody else's problems. If you're willing to dig deep, you can find some very interesting things in there. Getting stuck in those difficult emotions is an opportunity to do that, to dig in, to explore your beliefs. And if you're willing to do that, you can shift your whole life. Because if you do have that belief that's affecting you negatively, you'll be able to let it go. And when you can let it go, you get out of the emotions. This is a little bit of a difficult concept for people to understand. So it's something to play with. The next time you have a challenge or you get stuck in an emotion, just follow it and see where it takes you. What thoughts are going through your head? Keep following it. Don't get stuck in one over and over again. You've got to keep going and see what the next one is. The thoughts have to be about you, though, not another person. No blaming. You're not a victim. You have to take responsibility for how you're feeling. And you might be surprised to find out there's a belief that you hold that isn't true, or that's holding you back from your happiness. So that is my coaching tip of the day. It's a little bit of a tricky one because you do have to think. I'm not going to fix your life, but I can point some lights for you and show you a certain way to go to help you have a better life. So I'm Colleen Vanderzyden. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. You can also connect with me on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And you can follow me there. That would be lovely. We are going to go to our first caller, who is Kristen from Islip, New York. Hi, Kristen. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Awesome. How can I help you today?
Just looking for maybe a little bit of, my mom died about a year and a half ago. And, we've all just been really struggling with it. It was very sudden. So, just having, a little bit of a tough time with that.
Yeah. Now, I do have a woman who's stepping in, so we'll see if this is in fact her. Interestingly, the first thing I'm feeling is some numbness in my face. It feels like my mouth is not working correctly. It almost feels as though things shut down for me. Okay, so that's what's happening, and I tend to pick up body issues from spirits quite a bit. Did she happen to have anything happen to her in her face area, or any kind of numbness or anything like that happen around her mouth?
She did. She hit her face when she passed.
Okay.
She did hit her face.
Okay.
My grandmother had a stroke, so it could possibly also be her.
Okay, I'll describe her further and we'll see where we go. It is interesting because I have to say she does not feel very old to me, okay?
No.
I feel like I expected to have a lot more time, like at least 15 or 20 more years. Would she have been about in her 70s or something when she passes, or a little younger even?
Much younger.
Okay,
yeah,
let me keep going and I'm going to see. Say that again, sorry?
She was only in her 50s, actually.
Yeah, okay, so she's not very old at all. And it's an interesting feeling with her. And I'll see if this is her. We'll keep going. I have to say, I like her personality. I feel like she's one of those people that is there for people, that kind of person you want to have. She doesn't cut people slack, though. So if somebody's got an issue, she's not going to listen to your excuses, okay? So no excuses. You don't want to hear it. No. She's very supportive, though. And you can always count on her. She's going to be there for you, all of that. And that no matter what happens, even if you make a really stupid mistake, it's okay. She loves you fully, completely, all of that. But she will definitely call people on stupid things, especially if they should have known better. I kind of like her. She's got a good sense of humor. Does she have a good sense of humor?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Does it sound more like your mom than your grandmother?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to say, I do like her. I think if she were here in the physical, I would have really enjoyed talking to her because she's made a lot of connections here in the physical. And it is interesting to me, too, because I do feel a sense of surprise in my passing here. I feel like it's quick and it feels like I don't really come back. You know what I mean? Something happens, I'm pretty much gone. And with that comes the feeling of she's not one of, how can I put this? She doesn't want to leave you guys with that memory. Okay. She doesn't want you to think about the passing as much as she wants you to remember who she was before she passes, because she was one who did have a lot of fun. She did look at life from a good perspective. And she wanted to make sure everything was going well for people. She's a real people person. She keeps talking about people around her. Do you happen to know, is there a name connection to Henry or Harry somewhere in your family?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, if something pops into my head, I'll say pretty much anything, but I wanted to say that because it just definitely popped in. There's also the feeling of, even though I know it hasn't been very long since she's been gone, I feel that there's a lot of stuff that's still pretty much in the same location. I don't feel like things have really changed. I don't feel like we've put a whole bunch of stuff away, but I do feel like we have distributed a few key items to some people. Did some people get her jewelry by any chance?
Yes.
And does somebody happen to have a bracelet or a watch? I'm touching my wrist now.
I have a bracelet.
Okay. And
she's given to her when she passed.
Okay. And you have it back now?
Yes.
Okay, no wonder she's mentioning it. And, they mention those things just to let you know and let me know, it really is them, but also to let you know that they're still here. They haven't really left, and you understand that. And she's one, of course, who is going to let you know that she's still here. I do get the impression there have been some signs around that we have started to pick up on. And I understand also that people question it. They think that they're making it happen. They think they're making something into a sign. Is there some, yeah, you understand? And is there some significance to, I want to talk about, and this is a real random thing, so this will be fun to see if you understand. I want to talk about wind or a breeze. Is there some significance to a wind or a breeze connected in your family somehow?
Wind or breeze?
Or a breeze. Something here, I'm telling you, there is. It's going to be fun when you remember it. You'll go, oh my God. Because, does it make sense now?
I'm trying to think.
That's okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll come to you, don't worry, because I'm feeling like there's some significance to this. I feel like I'm standing outside and I feel like I have a breeze that's kind of blowing my hair. And I feel like I'm looking around at things in nature. I feel like I'm looking at the birds and the plants and the flowers and all of these things. Does she really like being outside?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. And I feel like I'm out there and there's something about it that is just so peaceful, so relaxing to me. So I want to mention that. And related to the signs, there are some of those as well, okay, that are connected outside. And she does mention those too. She's talking about paperwork, and I understand things are still in a little bit of organization here. Are we still working on her paperwork and things like this? Settling things?
Some stuff, yeah.
Okay, because I want to be writing, I want to be checking things out. It doesn't seem to be a huge problem, but it's just kind of there, it just kind of hangs there. She's thanking you for everything you did, because she says you've been very good about trying to help other people get through this. You've been trying to be very strong. It's been hard for you, and you haven't really let everybody else see this, because she was somebody you talked to all the time. She was somebody who was there for you, and it's hard not to have her here in the physical. But she says you've been talking to her quite regularly nonetheless, and she does hear you. So don't stop. Don't stop. And she says you've been so nice with everybody else. You've been so strong with people. And she says it's okay for you to let them know how you're really feeling, because I know you don't really want to do that. But she says you're getting more comfortable now with expressing yourself. Do you have a sister as well?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I wanted to talk about sister. I just want to acknowledge that. I feel like you guys are a clump. That sounds funny, a clump. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a funny word to use. But I'm glad that makes
Great
sense.
analogy, actually.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad that made sense, because I was like, I never used that word. So that was funny. That's when I'm talking about something like foam, maybe. But anyway, I see you guys together, and I see you supporting each other, and she's counting on you to continue that, to be there for each other. There are certain things, one person will say something, and somebody will say, oh, Mom would have said that. And you're seeing how can I put this? You're seeing her reflection even more clearly in each other now. And that is a beautiful thing. That is truly beautiful. She does send you lots and lots of love. So Kristen, I suppose I shall wrap this up. She says to make sure you tell everybody to say hi from her and how much she loves everybody. She says she hasn't left and she's still watching, and everybody needs to make sure they do the right thing and do the right thing. Be responsible. Okay. I guess she's still telling you what to do, so that's okay. Well, thank you so much, Kristen. It was so nice talking to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that was Kristen from New York. And next we're going to move on to Traven from Lakeland, Florida. How are you today, Traven?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
Doing quite well, thank you. And how can I help you today?
Basically, I seen your post, and I would like a reading myself.
You'd like a reading?
Yes.
Okay, and are you looking for a mediumship reading or more of a psychic reading? A mediumship one is where we talk to dead people.
I guess basically a psychic reading.
Okay. And even though I just asked you that, I've got a spirit here. So apparently I'm going to talk to a dead person first. So I just never know who's going to step in. I have a man here who's coming in, and as he's coming in, he actually feels like an uncle to me. I don't know that he truly is an uncle, okay? I'm going to describe him personality, things like this. I understand he smokes at some point, and I understand he has some problems in the chest area going up into the breathing. The breathing is not very good here. I feel like I have a clog in my throat, okay? The way he comes in is he can be a little bit of a challenge at times with people. I feel like he's not one of those huggy people. He doesn't go around to people and hug them. I feel like he can be a little bit on the more direct side and a little strict. Do you happen to recall a man being like that you would know? Might be a smoker, has some breathing issues, a little on the strict side, could be a little bit of a challenge at times?
And he passed away?
Yeah, unless it's somebody here, which I don't think it is, but you never know.
The only person I can think of that had problems with that was my grandfather, and he had cancer.
Okay. And could he have been a little bit of a struggle to handle at times? Was he a little direct, letting people know the way they need to be, and he expected them to toe the line on that?
Yes.
Okay. Because he seems like he would have been a bit of a challenge to me, you know. He's a person that, well, he doesn't put up with crap, really, either. I guess I have two of those spirits today. Doesn't put up with crap. He's a little impatient. He's coming through with some impatience. He's giving me the impression that some things happening around you, he's wishing you would go in a different direction. Do you have something going on in your life now where you're questioning which direction you should be going in and you're not taking action even though you know you should?
Honestly, yes.
Okay. So, okay. He's telling me he wants you to, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like you know what you're supposed to do, but you just won't do it. You just won't take action for it. It's like you're a little bit scared of what could happen. Are you also the kind of person who doesn't like to upset people? You don't want to tell them what you really think because they might be offended or they might, be mad at you. Are you one of those people?
A little bit.
A little bit. I can be like that too. No worries. And he gives me the impression because of that, you've been so used to kind of suppressing yourself, not really letting yourself say the things you want to say because you don't want to upset people. And he doesn't have any patience for that at all. He wants you to just get out and say the things you need to do. He wants you to take some action to what you need to be doing and get going on your life. You having a relationship now that's got a little bit of an issue going?
Yes, my marriage.
And you've been having a lot of questions about it. It's, should I? You go back and forth, pros and cons. And you're not sure what to do. It's like your head is just going into crazy brain here where all you're doing is thinking and cyclical thinking and you can't get out of it. Boy, have you truly been considering staying or leaving, or are you still just weighing the good and the bad?
I'm at a crossroads, but I'm very indecisive right now. I don't know what to do.
And the best thing to do when you don't know what to do is to do nothing. And because if you think you have to make a decision, you'll think more and more and more, you'll make that list and all this stuff. And it's too much for your brain to handle. So the best thing is to step back and not think about it. You need to get some space around you, which means you have to stop thinking about it so much. I know that's hard to do, especially if you're at a crossroads and you're trying to figure out what to do. I get the impression that you actually, because you are a kind person, and I can tell you're a kind person, you're there for other people, all of that. You don't know how to make a decision based on what's good for you. So what you might want to try to play with is picking an idea of, let's see, this is something I used to do a million years ago, was I would try to figure out how I was feeling about pretty much anything. And I'm moving into coaching mode more than reading here. Figure out what your emotion is. Are you feeling frustrated? And then why are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling sad? And why are you feeling sad? and use it as more of an experiment rather than to get stuck in it and trapped in it. So use it as an experiment, because if you name the emotion, what will happen is it doesn't have quite a hold on you. So if you say, I'm confused right now, I don't know what to do. I'm confused because I don't know what to do. I don't know which direction to go, and I'm thinking too far in advance. But you're confused in this moment because you're thinking too much, so you kind of use it as a game. That's something to do. Tell me if this is accurate. Is your husband somebody who you feel like he's not really paying attention to you?
Yes.
And no matter what you tell him, it's like he didn't hear you at all, correct?
Yeah, we're separated right now, but it's like even if we talk through message, phone, in person, it's like it doesn't get through.
Yeah, and that's why I kept getting the message about space around you. Now, I only have a very small amount of time left. So what you want to do is maintain the space, maybe not spend time talking about anything of importance. If you have to talk about kids switching houses or something, that's a different thing. But don't talk about anything important. You need to have the time for yourself to figure it out what you need to do. Don't make a big decision. Anything like this. I feel like within the next 4 months, 4 months, you've got to take some time. There's no rush on this. 4 months, you've got to give yourself time to figure out what you need, to not rush anything. Okay, that's going to be the big thing. That way you're secure in your decision and you know you've made the right choice. Okay, so give yourself the time. At the end of 4 months, then reevaluate, see where you stand. Then you'll have a much better idea of what's going on. Your grandfather on the other side is sending you lots of kicks in the butt, basically, because he wants you to take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. Take care of yourself. What's going to make you happy? What's going to make you be the person you need to be? And in 4 months' time, you will know this. So take your time. So Traven, it was nice talking to you today. Remember what I told you. Listen to the rerun if you have to. Remember what I told you and don't rush. So thank you so much for calling, and maybe I'll talk to you again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you everybody for watching and listening. This week, if you get stuck in emotions, see where it takes you. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And you can follow me there. You have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.